Gift of the Givers is currently in KZN to provide some relief for those affected by floods. Our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is tracking this for us and joins us now for an update. Aviwe, we've seen a lot of goodwill from South Africans across the country. Gift of the Givers is always there where there is a need in South Africa, and this time around it's in KZN. Tell us a little bit more about the distribution in the soup kitchen we can see happening behind you.
We're in Wentworth in KwaZulu-Natal, where, of course, Gift of Givers is on the ground, providing the much-needed humanitarian aid. This time, it's dishing out soup kitchen and, of course, helping the people just around Ogilvy Street. It's partnering up with a number of stakeholders, and I just want to catch up with some of them. I'll start with Esmeen Asha, who runs a soup kitchen, which we understand started pre-COVID-19. But maybe tell us, Esmeen, how busy have you been during these floods?
We've had sleepless nights and endless days so far. People without water, without electricity. We're trying to service the areas of Bluff, Jacobs, Clarewood, Meerwent, Oosterville, Meerbank. Gift of the Givers have been amazing all the time. They always come to our aid, where they've given us water, they supply meals, they bring in food hampers for us as well to assist the communities, blankets, clothing, mattresses. At this time, I think every organization in the Durban South Basin, I should say basically around the country, have been inundated with people who do not have. Sometimes we think that rich people are rich and they don't have, but when people don't have water or electricity, they become vulnerable as well, like everybody else. Some are more vulnerable than others, but we are all vulnerable at a time when we don't have water or electricity.
And I understand that's the situation in Wentworth, where parts of it don't have electricity and can't access basic services. I actually want to move on to Gift of the Givers, Bilal Jiwa. Thank you for joining us at ENCA. We can see the work that you do on the ground. How many people are you targeting to reach just in the course of today?
Good morning. The Gift of the Givers, in partnership with the ShopRite soup kitchens, we targeted yesterday around 3,000 hot meals. We have 3 trucks running in this area, and then we have another this area of Wentworth, Bluff, Meerbank, Oosterville, and we have another 2 trucks going into the Ispingo Beach area, Dakota Informal Settlements, and Ispingo Hills area. So there's 3 teams on this side. There's be Tracy, she'll be covering Meerbank, Wentworth, and then we got Child Time covering Wentworth, Oosterville, and then we got Gavin covering Bluff, Finlands, and Ocean View today. That's with regards to the soup kitchen that you see here behind me.
And you've been moving around KwaZulu-Natal. What are you seeing on the ground when it comes to the impact of the floods to the communities that you're servicing?
I've been fortunate enough with part of the Gift of the Givers. We started initially our investigation, our assessments in the north of Durban in Tongaat, where we had the incident of the woman being washed away and 3 children passed away. And then we moved away down all the way. I'm covered yesterday in the south coast in Potchefstroom, Tualume. Fortunately, there was no loss of life or injury, but there was a lot of destruction as in landslides, etc. So a lot of people's homes were destroyed. So we distributed over 300 food hampers in that area yesterday. Water has become a critical issue. A lot of areas, like I said, is that with all the money in the world, and if there's no water available, the money has become pointless. And there are areas that are affluent and non-affluent that are suffering without water. And the Gift of the Givers has embarked on establishing distribution points in the various strategic areas, like Ispingo, Wentworth, Chatsworth, and we've done also in the Durban North. We have teams that are there in the north of Durban that have set up the distribution points for water as well.
Okay, and then in terms of the Gift of the Givers and their rescue efforts, I understand even yesterday we were supposed to come with the Gift of the Givers, but of course the weather played a role in stopping those efforts of the rescue. Any idea of the other missions that you'll be conducting around KwaZulu-Natal and maybe even going into areas that are secluded?
This morning, if I just was on a chat with my manager, I believe our founder, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, he has arranged for a helicopter to the Pietermaritzburg Orabi Airport, which will be loaded with much needed supplies of maize and rice. Obviously, as a helicopter, there's not a lot they can load, but it's over 1.5 tons of supplies that will be loaded. And that will be taken to an area, I need to just pronounce it properly, I think it's called Wushini. That area has been totally cut off. There's no access. The bridge has been washed away. So the only form of access right now is via air. So they hopefully this weather holds up, and then our founder Dr. Imtiaz and the team will go and try and see if they can access that area and assist those individuals in that area.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll try to keep tabs with the gift of the givers and try also to showcase those efforts in those secluded areas where basically they've been cut off. We heard how the bridge has been totally destroyed there, and the only way in and out is via the helicopter that we are told that Dr. Suleiman will be in to provide at least 1.5 tons worth of relief to that specific area. It's what we've been seeing basically, Annalie, as we've been crisscrossing KwaZulu-Natal. Yesterday I was in Mhlasini myself, where the 2 roads that lead in and out have been totally destroyed by the devastating floods here, and the only way that they now cross is via a river. So some of that aid that's been provided there yesterday, we were with the Red Cross as they gave basically a similar situation what we're seeing now, that humanitarian aid in terms of relief. Some of these instances that have been happening in KwaZulu-Natal as they try to grapple with the impact of the devastating floods.